So Bristol City Council's in a bit of trouble because of a leaflet telling people how to fill in their postal ballots for next month's EU referendum. Now, if you've ever done a postal vote, and I do postal voting, it's not just a case of one form, one envelope. You have to prove its use, you have to sign another piece of paper, and that has to go in another envelope, and then there's the actual voting envelope, and that voting bit of paper, and then they both have to go in another envelope. It's not easy. Well, anyway, the form that Bristol City Council have produced showing you how to complete your postal vote contains a graphic showing a pencil hovering over the box for the Remain in the European Union. Now, the Electoral Commission says it should never have been sent out like that, but 47,000 of them already have. Liz Bilney is the Chief Executive Officer for the Leave.EU campaign. Morning, Liz.
Good morning.
Your reaction when you first saw this?
Oh, I thought it was outrageous. I just couldn't believe it'd been allowed to happen, to be honest. I mean, it's been said that it's the local council's fault, but my question is, why have the Electoral Commission, who are governing this process, not put in place, a clear mandate on what goes out to the electorate? For this to have happened, I think is completely questionable.
Do you think are you intimating they did it on purpose?
I'm not intimating it was done on purpose, but I do think it's a huge error and it really needs to be looked into. If this error has occurred, what other errors are going to occur in the referendum process? It's quite unbelievable that this has been allowed to happen. We've had plenty of time to prepare for the referendum, and the Electoral Commission could quite have easily have just given the instructions out to the council and said, this is what you put in the posting ballot papers in the envelope. There should have been no discretion for councils, so they shouldn't have been able to get this wrong. So the fact that they have, I just think it's quite, unbelievable. So your issue is with the Electoral Commission rather than Bristol City Council? Ultimately, I think it's their responsibility to make sure it's a fair process. And if this is one aspect which could have gone wrong, then I think they should have played a stronger hand in controlling that part of the process, yes. Do you really believe that postal voters would be swayed on how to vote because of a graphic on a form showing you how to complete the forms? Well, the Electoral Commission have themselves said that it was inappropriate that this has gone out. No, they've said it's unlikely that people would be persuaded to vote a different way because of the graphic. Well, I think it's interesting that the Remain campaign have been very silent on this matter. I think they're rubbing their hands of glee. So, yes, I think it introduces a potential element of bias. And, we don't want the whole referendum process to be mucked up and then we have to go through the whole thing again because there's a legal challenge. So we have to make sure we get it right. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that, but it's a little bit disrespectful to think people are a bit thick, that they couldn't, follow the instructions. Everybody over the age of 18, everybody who's eligible has the right to vote. And people are going to be coming in from all walks of life, be speaking different languages. They may have issues with reading, writing, whatever. There needs to be clear instructions for the electorate so they can have their vote count, heard. And every single vote counts. So it's important that the instructions are clear. So I don't think it should be swept under the carpet and said, it's absolutely fine, because it was wrong. So what would you like to see happen? Because in Bristol, 47,000 of these have gone out. I think there needs to be a letter sent out to every single one to those 47,000 explaining the error, and a new set of instructions should be issued to correct the issue, to correct the problem. All right, Liz, thank you. Liz Bilney there, Chief Executive Officer for the Leave.EU campaign.